All right. Guidance. The requirement placement of the October 1st, 2009 of the event recorder using the magnetic tape that storage made him a certified crash-worthy event recording material something module capable of recording the least of the same data elements of the record replaces any magnetic tape recorder after October 1st, 2005 must replace with the certified crash-worthy event recorder memory module. Requires all new lead locomotives, lead man, helper locomotives controlling distributed power locomotives ordered by October 1st, 2006, placed in service after October 1st, 2009 to be equipped with a certified crash event recorder memory module capable of recording up to 25 data elements of the traditional locomotive and 22 data elements of the direct multiple unit locomotives. 3. Requires all manufactured locomotive after the October 1st, 2007 to equip with a certified crash and event record memory module capable of recording at least same data elements as the event recorder of the locomotive primary manufacturer. Requires all event records only manufactured on January 1st, 2010 installed with the record on a locomotive to be equipped with a certified crash and event recorder memory module. Contains specific performance criteria to determine the credit worthiness of event recorder memory module. These include the criteria of fire impact shock, static crush, fluid immersion, and hydrostatic pressure contains of the testing security requirements. The criteria are based on the existing crashworthiness standards of the IEEE modified locomotive environment. It requires the preservation of event recorded data of the period of 1 year of any locomotive involved in the accident incident reported by the FRA under the Part 225. Alright, provides relief for the periodic inspection requirements of the microprocess based on event and required records with self-monitoring features. Requires inspections of those types of events recorded annually. Statute 229, 137, sanitation requirements. Sanitation compartment asphalt provided in Part B of this section. All lead locomotives shall be equipped with the sanitation compartment. Each sanitation compartment shall be adequately ventilated, equipped with a floor, and enclosed with the possessed modesty lock October 1st, 2003. Equipped with a toilet facility as defined as part. Equipped with the washing system and defined with this part, unless the railroad otherwise provided with the washing system employees open upon reporting the duty occupying the cab of the duty and where the locomotive is equipped with a sanitary sink that is located outside the sanitation compartment. Equipped with the toilet paper sufficient quantity of the meet the employee need. The railroad otherwise provided with the toilet paper implies upon reporting. For duty of the occupying cab duty, equipped with a trash receptacle, unless the railroad otherwise provided with the portable trash receptacles, employees imply upon reporting the duty occupying the cab of the duty. Exemptions. Paragraph 1A of the section shall not apply. 1. Locomotives engaged with commuter service with over the short haul passenger commuter work trains on which employees have readily access to railroad provided with the sanitation facilities outside of the locomotive elsewhere on the train that meet otherwise applicable sanitation standards at frequent intervals during the course of their work shift. Locomotives engaged with switching services and employees with ready to access railroad provided with the sanitation facilities outside of locomotive that meet otherwise applicable sanitation standards frequent interval during changes of the work shift. 3. Locomotives engaged with the transfer service of which employees have readily access to railroad provided with the sanitation facilities outside of the locomotive that meet otherwise applicable sanitation standards at frequent intervals during the course of their work. 4. Locomotive Class 3 railroads engaged with the operation other than switching services, transfer services which are not equipped with the sanitation compartment as of June 3rd, 2002 to unequipped locomotive on the Class 3 railroad is engaged with the operation other than switching and transferring services. Employees should be ready to access railroad provided sanitation facilities outside of the locomotive that meet the otherwise applicable sanitation standards at frequent intervals during the course of the work shift. The railroad shall arrange the en-route access to such facilities. 4. Locomotives of Taurus Scenic Historic Excursion Railroad locomotives otherwise covered by the part because they are not propelled by steam power operated with the general railroad system transportation, but on which the employees have readily accessed the railroad provided sanitation facilities outside of locomotive that meet applicable sanitation standards at frequent intervals during the course of their work shift. 6. Except for as provided in the statute 229.14 of this part, the control cab locomotives for the design passenger occupancy used in intercity public push-pull services that are not equipped with sanitation where employees ready to access railroad provided with sanitation and other passenger cars are trained frequently in intervals during this course of their work. All right, 2. Paragraph A3 of this section shall not apply. Locomotives of Class 1s were that which prior to June 3rd, 2002, equipped with a toilet facility in the human waste falls with the V of the gravity holding tank where it's stored, periodically emptied, which does not refer to the definition of toilet facility set forth in this section for the locomotive. The requirements for the section pertaining to the type of the toilet facilities required shall be effective if these toilets become defective and are replaced with the conforming units which occur various with the requirements set forth in this section shall apply to these locomotives on June 3rd, 2002. 2. With respect to locomotive of Class 1 road switch prior to the June 3rd, 2002, where equipped with the sanitation systems other than the units addressed in paragraph B2.1 of the section that contains the remove the human waste method if it does not conform with the definition of toilet facilities set forth in this section. The requirements of this section pertaining to the type of the toilet facility shall apply on the locomotives in the use of the July 1st, 2003 However, the Class 1 railroad subject to an exemption shall not deliver locomotive in which such sanitation systems to occur other than railroads other than lead position during the time of between July 3rd, 2002 and July 1st, 2003, although the requirements set forth in this section shall apply to locomotives in Class 1 railroads as June 3rd, 2002. C. Defective, unsanitary toilet facility prohibition is lead position, except as provided with paragraph C1 through 5 of the section. The railroad determines the daily inspection of paragraph by section 229.21 for the locomotive toilet facility is defective. Sanitary and bold. The railroad shall not use the locomotive in the lead position. The railroad may continue to use the lead locomotive with a toilet facility that is defective and sanitary as daily inspection only where all the following conditions are met. 1. The unsanitary defective condition is discovered at a location where there are not suitable locomotives available for use, where it is not possible to switch another locomotive into the lead position, and locomotion location is not equipped with a clean sanitation compartment. If it's unsanitary, repair the toilet facility if defective. 2. The locomotive, while not compliant, did not pass through the location where it could have been cleaned. Unsanitary, repair if defective, switch, and another complaint locomotive still in its last daily inspection required by this part. Upon reasonable request, the locomotive crew member operating a locomotive defective unsanitary toilet facility, the railroad arranges for the access toilet facility outside of the locomotive that meets otherwise applicable sanitation standards. If the sanitation compartment is unsanitary, the sanitation compartment door shall be closed. Adequate ventilation shall be provided within the cab so that it is habitable. The locomotive shall not be continued into service in lead position beyond the location where the defective unsanitary condition can be corrected or replaced with another complaint locomotive. The daily inspection required by the part whichever occurs first. D. Defective unsanitary toilet facility using trailing position. If the railroad determines the daily inspection required in the statute 229.21 of the locomotive toilet facility defective is unsanitary, both the railroad use the locomotive in trailing position. The railroad places the locomotive in trailing position. They shall not haul the employees in the unit unless the sanitation compartment is made sanitary prior to the occupancy. The toilet seat is defective. The unit may become occupied. The railroad shall clearly mark the defective toilet facility is unavailable for use. Alright, C. The defective sanitary toilet facilities using in switch or transfer services. If a railroad determines the daily inspection required by the statute 229.21 locomotive toilet facility is defective both but sanitary, the railroad may use the locomotive in switching services set forth in paragraph B1.2 of this section or transfer service as set forth in paragraph B1.3 of the section for the period not to exceed 10 days. If the instance of the railroad shall clearly mark the defective toilet facility as unavailable for use in an expiration of 10-day period, the locomotive shall be repaired and used in a trailing position. Alright, lack of toilet paper washing system trash receptacle. The railroad determines during the daily inspection required in statute 229.21 the lead locomotive is not equipped with the toilet paper in sufficient quantity to meet the employee needs. A washing system is required in paragraph A4 of this section. The trash receptacle is required in paragraph A6 of this section. The locomotive shall be equipped with these items prior to the departure. Inadequate ventilation. If the railroad determines during the daily inspection required in section 229.21 the sanitation compartment of the lead locomotive is in use, inadequate ventilation stated as required in paragraph A1 of this section, the railroad shall be repair the ventilation prior to the departure, replace the locomotive in trailing position, and switch services set forth in paragraphs B1, 2 of the section, and transfer services set forth in B1, 3 of this section. H. Door closures, modesty locks. If the railroad determines during the daily inspection required statute 229.21, the sanitation compartment of the lead locomotive is not equipped with a door that closes as required in paragraph A21 of this section, the railroad shall repair the door to departure and then replace the locomotive in trailing position with a switching service as set forth in B1.2 of the section, and transfer the services as set forth in paragraph B1.3 of the section. If the railroad determines the daily inspection required in statute 229.21, that a modesty lock required with paragraph A22 of the section defective, the modesty lock shall be required pursuant to the requirements of statute 229.139E. Equip units retention maintenance. Except for the railroad downgrades the locomotive services in which they never would occupy with the locomotives equipped with a toilet facility as effective date of the federal rule, the railroad shall retain the maintaining of the toilet facility with the locomotive consistent with the requirements of this part, included locomotives using switch services pursuant to paragraph B1.2 of this section, and transfer service pursuant to P1.3 of this section. J. Newly manufactured units and cab facilities. All locomotives manufactured in June 1st, June 3rd, 2002, except for switching units built in exclusively with switching services. Locomotives built exclusively for commuter services shall be equipped with sanitation compartments accessible to cab employees without exiting the outdoors for use. No railroad may use the locomotive built after June 3rd, 2002 that does not comply with the subsection. K. Potable water. The railroad shall utilize potable water where washing systems include use the water. Alright, statute 229.139, sanitation requirements. The sanitation compartment of each of the lead locomotives is used to be sanitary. All components required by the statute 229.137A for the lead locomotive is used shall be present and consistent with the requirements of these parts, shall operate as intended such. All mechanical systems shall function. Water shall be present in sufficient quantity to permit flushing. 3. The system that utilize the chemicals of the treatment chemical chlorine or comparable oxidizing agent used in the treatment of treating waste must be present. Non-blockable blockage in present to prevent the waste from evacuating from the bowl. The sanitation compartment as each of the occupied locomotives is switching service pursuant to statute 229.137B1.2 and transfer service pursuant with 229.137B1.3. And the trailing position when locomotives are occupied shall be sanitary when the railroad used the locomotive pursuant to section 229.137E, and switching and transfer and serve with the defective toilet facility shall not exceed 10 days calendar days from the date on which the defective toilet facility became defective. The date of which the toilet facility becomes defective shall be entered in the daily inspection report. Whether it be determined a modesty lock required in section 229.137A2 for the defective, the railroad shall repair the modesty lock on before the next 92-day inspection required by this part. There are several types of locomotive cab toilets that are using today: microfiller, MV, gear-out vacuum systems, and motive equipment. Mp&E or EVAC are a few of most of the common types. The Norfolk Southern Railroad Amtrak primarily uses the EVAC system. Micro 4 uses two-tank system that only one is in kind. The human waste is deposited into the tank directly when washed and passed wiping pipe into a clean chemical chlorine holding tank with a biological breakdown, then passed into the drip pipe in the atmosphere right away. Other manufactured toilets are used only in one tank. The same tank that waste as it passes is used as a holding tank. The flush simply opens the flapper and forces the clean water into the wash, the rinse, the bowls, and then allows the waste to pass into the tank below, where it's biologically, chemically broken down. If the proper amount of chlorine is used, the tank is not overflowed capacity. It will remain is retained until it is sucked out by the railroad maintenance personnel when it is time for service. The most common cause of the locomotive toilet system failing, regardless of the manufacturer, lack mechanisms of the railroad, vandalism, paper towels, and various other types of foreign material being introduced into the toilet system. The toilet system are only designed to break down human waste and common toilet paper. Survivors indicate that any kind of paper towel with clog of the fuse or foul with these toilet systems by thickening or to breaking down the chlorine, it clogs the system and makes the filtering system ineffective. Quality and lack of the maintenance by the railroad greatly contributes to the compliance problems. Individual railroads are responsible for maintenance schedule. The frequency maintenance servicing relay depends on the use of the facilities, number of the crew members who changes by the outside of the parties out servicing prayer. So now are guilty using the wrong improper chemicals to break down the bacteria in the toilet. Also, if an improper cleaning agent is used to clean the toilet, it can contaminate and render the toilet's chemicals ineffective. Toilets ineffectively. The most common complaints are toilet compartment stinks, dirty, system toilet tank plug, toilet does not flush, lack of no water in holding tank, waste system, pipes, pipe leaks, water tank leaks, storage or strong chlorine odor in the toilet compartment, low voltage grounded to the tank heating system, flow of overflowing tanks model with the holding tanks insufficient chlorine and the chlorinator, strong chlorine odor in the cab of the pour, no ventilation, vent pipe or vent hole plug, wasting holding tank, the freshwater holding tank frozen, broken, damaged, chlorinated with cap seals, loose chlorine slugs on other floors in the toilet compartment. Toilet does not flush. Tampons or feminine napkins found in the toilet paper cannot be broken down in the chlorine. This becomes more of a common problem since the rise of female employees throughout the railroad system. Or Section 229-137 prohibits the railroad from placing the locomotive with unsanitary, defective toilet in the lead position. The railroad makes the determination that at the time of the daily inspection required in Section 229-21 in order the FRA to take up the violation. 229-137C, among other things, the FRA must show that the railroad determined with the time of the daily inspection that the locomotive toilet facility was defective and unsanitary. Without showing the FRA will not be able to sustain the violation. This applies for the FRA wants to take the violation under the statute 229-137D through H. For each of those sections, the FRA must show the railroad made the determination of the lack of the toilet paper, inadequate violation, and the lack of modesty lock at the time of the daily inspection. As noted by the preamble, the final rule in routing failures that occur after the daily inspection impose no burden on the railroad until the next day inspection due. Accordingly, the work of the group members involved with the drafting rule of the current railroad practice concerning the en-route toilet failures is to move more defective toilets into the training list position. Where it is possible to do so, please note, however, the final rule does not require such a movement. Proper ventilation. Ventilation is a serious problem. Some of the problems found during the field survey are that the vent caps have been pulled off and removed from the vent being plugged with paper towels with the toilet in use. No ventilation. The rest of it's just toilet crap. Subpart D, design requirements 229-141 buddy structures, multiple units. Although the subpart is not expected to be used in the field inspector during the road inspections, it must be considered when conducting accident investigations, especially when they have been head-on a rear end collision. Also, event recorded preservation requirements must be observed. Chapter 9, Steam Locomotive Inspection Maintenance Standards.